If you are seeing this, it is not by coincidence. It is a moment specifically orchestrated by Allah, a sign that He wants to speak to your heart. Perhaps you have been feeling lost, overwhelmed, or uncertain about your path. Perhaps life has weighed heavily upon you, and you feel your efforts go unnoticed or unrewarded. Allah knows every tear you have shed, every prayer whispered in the quiet of your heart, and every longing you have for guidance. This moment is a reminder that He is aware, that He sees, and that He is speaking directly to you. Allah communicates with His servants in ways both subtle and profound. Sometimes it is through a verse of the Quran that resonates so deeply that you feel it was written specifically for you. Other times it is through life's events, a sudden encounter, a delay, a closed door, or an unexpected opportunity. Each moment is part of His language, a sign to guide you, protect you, or redirect you. The Quran reminds us, and we send not the signs except as a reminder for those who reflect. Al-An 6:105. Reflective hearts recognize that nothing happens by chance, and that every circumstance carries a message, even when it is not immediately clear. Patience and trust are the keys to understanding Allah's hidden wisdom. Often we desire immediate answers, instant relief, or clear solutions. Yet, Allah's timing is always perfect. A delay is not denial. A setback is not punishment. They are opportunities for growth, preparation, and realignment with His plan. Just as a seed takes time to sprout and grow into a tree capable of bearing fruit, our hearts and circumstances require patience, nurturing, and trust in Allah's wisdom. The Quran says, "So be patient. Indeed, the promise of Allah is truth." 30:60. Even when the path seems unclear, trusting Him transforms waiting into preparation and hardship into lessons. Consider the lives of the prophets, who endured trials, betrayals, and hardships yet remained steadfast. Yusuf alayhi salam was separated from his family, betrayed and imprisoned, yet each moment was a step toward a greater plan that would ultimately save nations. Musa alayhi salam faced a seemingly insurmountable challenge at the Red Sea, yet he trusted Allah and the waters parted. In our own lives, the divine timing may not be immediately visible, but the principle remains the same. Surrender, patience, and reliance on Allah open the door to outcomes far greater than we could imagine. Preparing your heart to receive Allah's guidance and blessings involves reflection, gratitude, and readiness. Purify your intentions, align your actions with your faith, and remain vigilant for the signs He places in your life. Be mindful in prayer, sincere in your efforts, and humble in expectation. Trusting Allah does not mean passivity, it means actively nurturing your connection with Him while leaving the results in His hands. The believer who does this cultivates resilience, hope, and a heart attuned to the subtle movements of divine wisdom. If you are seeing this, know that Allah is speaking to you right now. He wants you to reflect, to trust, and to surrender. He wants you to recognize that even when the path seems uncertain, His plan is unfolding in ways you cannot yet see. The moment is yours to embrace. Your heart is being reminded. Trust Him completely. Prepare yourself for His blessings, and walk forward with patience, faith, and hope. If you are seeing this, it is not by accident. Every moment in life is carefully orchestrated by Allah, and the fact that this message has reached you now is a sign that He wants to speak to your heart. Often we overlook the subtle ways in which Allah communicates with us, dismissing moments as coincidences or chance. But the truth is that Allah is intimately aware of every detail of your life, from your deepest fears to your hidden hopes. He knows the questions that weigh on your mind, the burdens that rest on your shoulders, and the prayers you whisper when no one is listening. The very fact that you have paused to read, reflect, or even notice these words is a gentle nudge from Allah, a reminder that He is present and that He wishes to guide you, comfort you, and prepare you for the blessings He has in store. Allah's call to your heart is unique and personal. It may come through a sudden feeling of clarity, a moment of inspiration, or even a quiet reflection that stirs your emotions. Perhaps you have been feeling lost, disconnected, or overwhelmed by life's challenges. Perhaps you are wrestling with difficult decisions or lingering doubts about your purpose. These feelings are not accidents. They are signs that Allah is inviting you to pause, reflect, and turn your heart toward Him. The Quran tells us, "And we have already sent messengers to nations before you, O Muhammad, and we seized them with poverty and hardship that they might humble themselves to us." 6:42. Just as past nations were guided through trials, your current state may be part of Allah's way of preparing you to recognize His guidance, to awaken your heart, and to respond with sincerity. Recognizing Allah's message requires awareness. In our fast-paced lives, it is easy to become distracted by external noise, personal ambitions, or fleeting concerns. We may fail to notice the gentle signs, the subtle guidance, or the small blessings that point us toward the right path. Sometimes Allah speaks through ordinary events, a chance meeting with someone who offers unexpected advice, a verse of the Quran that resonates deeply, a sudden feeling that nudges you away from harm, or a delay that prevents a poor choice. These are all forms of divine conversation, and they require a heart that is attentive, reflective, and humble. By cultivating mindfulness and being receptive to these signs, we can begin to hear Allah speaking directly to us, even when it is quiet or subtle. The moments when Allah calls to your heart are often opportunities for change, growth, and reflection. They may arrive during times of hardship, when life feels uncertain, or when you feel disconnected from your purpose. These are the moments when the heart is most open, when reflection is deepest, and when guidance can have the greatest impact. Just as a seed planted in soil must endure darkness before it sprouts, your heart may need periods of reflection, patience, and stillness before the guidance becomes clear. Each trial, each quiet moment, each pause in life is an opportunity to listen, to trust, and to align yourself with the wisdom that Allah is offering. Allah's conversation with you is ongoing. Even when the world feels chaotic or overwhelming, He is constantly guiding, preparing, and protecting you. The signs may be small, hidden in your daily life, or presented through experiences that at first seem unrelated to your prayers or desires. A closed door, a sudden change, or a moment of discomfort may all be part of a larger plan designed to steer you toward the right path. The Quran reminds us, do they not see that Allah, who created the heavens and the earth, is able to create the likes of them, and He has appointed for them a term, about which there is no doubt, yet the wrongdoers still refuse to be reminded. 10:101. By reflecting on these signs and remaining attentive to the subtle ways Allah communicates, we can begin to see that nothing in life is random, and that every moment carries potential guidance. When you recognize that Allah is speaking to you, it becomes a call to action. It is an invitation to pause, to reflect, and to align your heart with His wisdom. Your current situation, your struggles, and your desires are all part of a divine conversation. The opportunity to listen, to trust, and to act upon His guidance is being presented to you in this very moment. Your awareness, your reflection, and your willingness to respond will determine how deeply you connect with the message Allah is sending. This moment is yours to embrace, a personal reminder that Allah has not forgotten you, that He is aware of your journey, and that He is guiding you toward what is best for you. The invitation is clear: pause, listen, reflect, and open your heart to the conversation that only He can orchestrate. Allah communicates with His servants in ways that are often subtle, profound, and deeply personal. These messages are not always loud or obvious, rather they come in forms that require reflection, awareness, and an open heart. The Quran tells us, "And we send not the signs, except as a reminder for those who reflect." Al-An 6:105. These signs can be hidden in events, emotions, encounters, or even the natural flow of life, and they are meant to guide, protect, and awaken us to the truth. Recognizing these messages is a skill of the heart, a form of spiritual awareness that develops when we remain attentive to Allah's presence and open to His wisdom. Sometimes Allah speaks through the circumstances around us. A sudden delay, a missed opportunity, or an unexpected obstacle may feel frustrating at first, but these events often carry hidden guidance. Perhaps a job you hoped for does not materialize, because Allah is steering you toward a position that will be better for your faith, growth, and well-being. Perhaps a relationship does not work out, because it is not aligned with your ultimate good, and Allah is protecting you from harm. The Quran reminds us, but perhaps you hate a thing, and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing, and it is bad for you, and Allah knows while you know not. 2:216. By reflecting on these experiences, we begin to recognize Allah's subtle communication and His protective hand guiding us. Emotions are also a language through which Allah speaks. Moments of discomfort, unease, or uneasiness may serve as signals that something is not aligned with our best interests. Conversely, feelings of contentment, clarity, or unexpected joy can indicate that we are on a path that aligns with Allah's plan. These emotions, when paired with reflection and prayer, can serve as markers to guide decisions and actions. Often, a gut feeling, or a persistent thought, is not merely a coincidence. It is part of the divine system of guidance that Allah has placed within us. Recognizing this requires patience and mindfulness, an openness to listen to the inner voice that Allah has provided as part of His communication. Allah also speaks through the people He places in our lives. A chance encounter, a timely conversation, or a piece of advice can be a sign from Allah, delivered through someone who may not even realize their role in your journey. Perhaps a friend offers encouragement just when despair is creeping in, or a mentor provides insight that illuminates a solution to a complex problem. These interventions are part of the unseen orchestration of Allah, carefully timed to guide you when you are most receptive. Reflecting on these interactions and recognizing their divine timing strengthens faith and develops gratitude for the subtle ways Allah communicates. Even the Quran itself is a living form of divine communication. Verses that resonate deeply, that speak to a current challenge, or that illuminate a decision, are signs meant to awaken the heart. When a particular verse strikes with clarity, it is not by coincidence, it is Allah's way of directing attention to a lesson, a warning or encouragement. Just as Allah says in the Quran, "Indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." 13:28. Moments of reflection on His words allow the heart to recognize the guidance being offered, fostering trust, peace and clarity. Recognizing Allah's signs requires patience and awareness. It means stepping back from the noise of life, silencing the constant chatter of worry, doubt, or distraction, and tuning the heart to divine guidance. The signs may be small, a subtle coincidence, an unexpected delay, a fleeting thought, but they are significant. Each is a thread in the intricate tapestry of Allah's plan, carefully placed to guide, protect, and awaken the believer. By observing, reflecting, and responding to these signs with sincerity, we align ourselves with the rhythm of Allah's wisdom, developing trust in His unseen work, and readiness to follow the path He has laid out. When the heart becomes attentive to these signs, life transforms. The believer begins to see the interconnectedness of events, the protection in delays, the lessons in hardship, and the blessings in everyday occurrences. Allah's communication becomes a source of guidance, hope, and reassurance, reminding us that we are never alone, that our lives are meticulously orchestrated, and that the timing of every blessing, challenge, and opportunity is perfect. Recognizing these messages cultivates a heart that is patient, reflective, and in tune with the divine plan, ready to embrace the guidance Allah is offering at precisely the right moment. Understanding the wisdom behind delays and closed doors is one of the most important lessons a believer can learn. Life often does not unfold according to our expectations. We may have prayed for a particular outcome, worked tirelessly toward a goal, or hoped for a specific resolution, only to find ourselves facing obstacles, rejections, or delays. In these moments, it is natural to feel frustrated, anxious, or disappointed. Yet the Quran reminds us, "And it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and that you like a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows while you know not." 2:216. This verse emphasizes that Allah's knowledge surpasses ours, and what we perceive as setbacks may be blessings in disguise, part of a plan that we cannot yet comprehend. Delays and closed doors serve as a form of preparation and purification. Just as a seed must remain buried in the soil before it can grow into a strong plant capable of bearing fruit, the believer may need to endure periods of waiting, challenges, and testing before receiving Allah's ultimate blessings. These periods cultivate patience, resilience, and spiritual maturity. They teach us humility, reminding us that we do not control every aspect of our lives, and that reliance on Allah is essential. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ exemplified this trust through his life, facing persecution, loss, and hardship with unwavering faith, knowing that Allah's plan was perfect, even when the outcome was not immediately apparent. The story of Yusuf alayhi salam provides a profound example of the hidden wisdom behind delays and closed doors. He endured betrayal by his brothers, slavery, and imprisonment, each experience seemingly more unjust than the last. Yet these trials were integral to Allah's plan. They refined Yusuf's character, tested his patience, and positioned him to ultimately rise to a role that would save entire nations from famine. From a human perspective, the hardships he endured appeared cruel and unwarranted, yet in hindsight, they were critical steps toward a greater purpose. His story teaches us that patience during delays is not wasted. It is part of the divine preparation for greater blessings. In our own lives, similar patterns emerge. A job you did not get, a relationship that ended, or a plan that failed may feel like personal setbacks. Yet these experiences often redirect us toward what is truly beneficial. Perhaps a missed opportunity spares you from harm, allows you to acquire skills and experiences that will be essential later, or creates space for better alternatives to appear. Every delay, every closed door, and every unexpected turn can serve as a divine nudge, guiding us toward outcomes that align with our ultimate good. Patience during these times is not passive, it is an active practice. It involves maintaining hope, continuing to pray sincerely, and taking deliberate steps to improve oneself while trusting Allah's timing. This balance between effort and surrender is crucial. The Quran tells us, so be patient. Indeed, the promise of Allah is truth. 30:60. Patience allows the heart to remain steady, the mind to remain clear, and the soul to remain connected to Allah, even when circumstances appear uncertain. It transforms waiting from a source of frustration into an opportunity for spiritual and personal growth. Delays and closed doors also teach discernment and gratitude. By experiencing what does not work, we develop a clearer understanding of what is truly good for us. By enduring trials, we cultivate appreciation for eventual successes and blessings. The believer learns to see beyond immediate appearances, recognizing that what seems like a denial may be a redirection, what appears as a setback may be a setup for greater achievement, and what feels like loss may lead to profound gain. Ultimately, the wisdom behind delays and closed doors is rooted in Allah's perfect knowledge and timing. Every obstacle is an opportunity, every postponement a lesson, and every unanswered prayer a preparation for a more fitting blessing. The believer who internalizes this understanding becomes patient, resilient, and hopeful, trusting that Allah's plan is always greater than human expectation, and that every delay is a deliberate step toward a future filled with mercy, guidance, and fulfillment. Trusting Allah completely is one of the most profound acts of faith a believer can undertake. It is not merely an acknowledgement of His existence, but a deep conviction that His wisdom surpasses our understanding, and that His plans are always perfect, even when they do not align with our immediate desires. Human beings naturally seek control over their lives, desiring certainty, clarity, and visible outcomes. Yet true trust requires surrendering that desire for control to the One who knows all things, who sees the unseen, and who orchestrates every detail of our lives with infinite wisdom. The Quran reminds us, indeed Allah is over all things competent. 2:20. This verse is a profound reassurance that even when circumstances appear chaotic or confusing, Allah's guidance is precise, deliberate, and designed for our ultimate benefit. Trust is most tested during times of uncertainty, when we pray earnestly for a particular outcome, work diligently toward a goal, or hope for a resolution to a personal challenge. It is natural to desire immediate results. Yet Allah's timing is perfect, and often what we perceive as delays or setbacks are opportunities for preparation, growth, and refinement. Trust is not a passive act. It requires patience, reflection, and an unwavering belief that Allah's knowledge and plan surpass our own. Just as a traveler must rely on a guide to navigate unknown terrain, the believer must rely on Allah to lead the way, even when the path is not immediately clear. Understanding the wisdom behind delays, obstacles, and unanswered prayers is a key aspect of trust. Just as a potter shapes clay through repeated pressure and molding, Allah uses challenges and waiting periods to refine our character, strengthen our faith, and prepare us to receive blessings in ways that maximize their benefit. Perhaps a missed opportunity is a form of protection, keeping us away from harm, or guiding us toward a more suitable path. Perhaps a delay in a desired outcome is meant to cultivate patience, resilience, and reliance on Allah. The Quran emphasizes this principle. But perhaps you hate a thing, and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing, and it is bad for you, and Allah knows while you know not. 2:216. Recognizing this truth allows the believer to embrace uncertainty with hope, confidence, and perseverance. Trust transforms the way we perceive life's trials. When the heart relies on Allah, hardships are no longer mere obstacles or sources of despair. They become opportunities for growth, spiritual elevation, and inner strength. The believer who trusts Allah learns to navigate challenges with calm and resilience, understanding that every event, whether joyous or difficult, is part of a divinely orchestrated plan. Even when outcomes are not immediately apparent, trust brings peace to the heart, lightens anxiety, and fosters contentment with Allah's decree. True reliance on Allah is also paired with action. The Prophet Muhammad said, "If you rely upon Allah with due reliance, He will provide for you as He provides for the birds." They go out in the morning with empty stomachs and return full. This hadith illustrates that trust is coupled with responsibility. The believer exerts effort, acts ethically, fulfills duties, and works diligently, yet understands that sustenance, success, and guidance ultimately come from Allah. This balance between effort and reliance strengthens the heart and deepens faith. Trusting Allah also cultivates gratitude, humility, and hope. When the believer surrenders control and accepts that Allah's unseen work is perfect, patience develops naturally, and the heart becomes open to recognizing blessings in ways that may have otherwise been overlooked. Life setbacks, delays, and uncertainties are transformed into lessons, shaping a perspective that values wisdom over immediate gratification and long-term benefit over fleeting desire. Ultimately, trust in Allah is not merely theoretical or intellectual, it is a lived experience that shapes every response, every decision, and every moment of waiting. It is the anchor of the heart in storms, the source of calm in uncertainty, and the foundation upon which hope, patience, and resilience are built. The believer who trusts Allah completely understands that even when the path seems unclear, His plan is flawless, His timing is perfect, and His work behind the scenes is unfolding in ways far greater than we could ever imagine. Preparing the heart and life to receive Allah's blessings is an essential part of faith and trust. While Allah is constantly working behind the scenes to arrange what is best for us, it is the believer's responsibility to be ready, emotionally, spiritually, and practically, to recognize, accept, and utilize these blessings when they manifest. Preparation begins with self-reflection, examining our intentions, priorities, and actions to ensure they align with what pleases Allah. The Prophet Muhammad emphasized sincerity as the foundation of all deeds, reminding us that actions without pure intention may fall short. By purifying our hearts and aligning our motives with Allah's guidance, we create the proper environment to receive His gifts fully and meaningfully. Preparation also requires consistent effort. Trusting Allah does not mean passivity or neglect of responsibility. Rather, it involves acting diligently while recognizing that the outcomes are in His hands. Just as a farmer tills the soil, plants seeds, and waters them, while knowing that growth ultimately comes from Allah, the believer must engage in sincere effort while maintaining reliance on divine will. If you pray for guidance in your career, education, or personal growth, it is essential to take concrete steps, learning, planning, seeking advice, and acting ethically, so that when the opportunity arrives, you are ready to embrace it and make the most of it. Preparation and trust work hand in hand. One without the other is incomplete. Patience is a vital part of readiness. Delays, obstacles, and unanswered prayers are not signs of neglect or denial. They are opportunities for refinement, strengthening faith, and preparing the heart to appreciate and handle greater blessings. The Quran reminds us, so be patient. Indeed, the promise of Allah is truth. 30:60. Every period of waiting is a moment of cultivation, much like a seed buried in soil before it sprouts. These moments develop resilience, refine character, and shape a perspective that values long-term goodness over immediate gratification. The believer learns that patience is not passive, but an active form of preparation, keeping the heart steadfast, hopeful, and aligned with Allah's plan. Gratitude is another essential aspect of preparation. Appreciating the blessings we already possess opens the heart to recognize new ones when they arrive. Gratitude softens the soul, fosters humility, and strengthens the connection with Allah, ensuring that blessings are received with thankfulness rather than entitlement. The Quran says, "If you are grateful, I will surely increase you." 14:7. By nurturing gratitude, the believer creates a receptive heart, attuned to the subtle ways Allah provides, and ready to embrace His gifts when they come. Gratitude also shifts the focus from what is lacking to the abundance already present, allowing the believer to approach new blessings with contentment and awareness. Spiritual readiness is equally important. Strengthening the heart through prayer, reflection, remembrance of Allah, and righteous actions prepares the soul to perceive guidance, opportunities, and blessings that may otherwise go unnoticed. A heart attuned to Allah's presence can sense the timing of His interventions, recognize signs, and act with wisdom when opportunities arise. Spiritual preparation ensures that when blessings arrive, they are integrated into the life of the believer in ways that nurture faith, growth,
and responsibility. Resilience gained through trials also contributes to readiness. The challenges, setbacks, and hardships we endure build the strength, patience, and insight necessary to receive and manage Allah's blessings. Every effort, every act of worship, and every moment of reflection equips the believer to recognize divine orchestration and respond appropriately. It aligns the heart, mind, and actions with Allah's plan, ensuring that His unseen work behind the scenes is met with preparedness, awareness, and gratitude. Ultimately, preparing to receive Allah's blessings is a holistic process. It involves aligning intentions, taking diligent action, practicing patience, nurturing gratitude, and cultivating spiritual awareness. It transforms waiting into active readiness and ensures that when the blessings Allah has orchestrated arrive, they are embraced fully, used wisely, and appreciated deeply. The believer who prepares in this way becomes a vessel ready to receive the fullness of Allah's mercy, guidance, and provision, confident that every moment of effort and reflection has primed the heart for the perfect timing of His blessings.